G'day, it's Fidemaster Curtis, and I'm presenting my video to you of late titled Tuesday. I played it today, Australian Eastern Standard Time, which is a Wednesday at 7 AM this morning. However, it's held on Tuesday in a different time zone, as you know. And one of the late entries, one of the very latest entries, and we were all very, very surprised to see him there. And it was Magnus Carlsen, the world chess champion. And so I'm going to do a review of some of my games, but the first game I want to show you, first up, is Magnus Carlsen's game against Fedosiv, Vladimir Fedosiv, Super Grandmaster. And we're going to get into this game straight away. Magnus opened with G4. And Grandmaster Fidemaster plays knight to a6. What a strange move, eh? Right, we'll see the benefits of knight a6 shortly, I imagine, against the Grob attack. I think it's called the Grob attack that Magnus employed. Bishop g2 just controls the long diagonal. Now c6, and now we can see the point of Grandmaster Fedosiv's idea. He wants to play knight c7, right? He wants to move his knight back to c7 and protect this pawn on d5, okay? That way he can have his knight on a useful square. And it's quite a good idea, and no doubt it's a prepared variation that he plays against the Grob, which was supposed to be a surprise move by Magnus. Anyway, Magnus replies d4, d5 is played, and now h3 to protect the g-pawn, right? Got to protect this g-pawn here. Okay, so Vladimir plays g6. His intention now is to fin shadow his bishop, right? And to put pressure on the d-pawn, and he might later be looking at e5 or c5 if the position presents itself to make such a move, challenging the centre. But just mind you, he is playing the world champion. c4, okay, c4 is played. Magnus, without any hesitation, goes straight for the centre. The pawn's captured by black. He says, oh, I'll take that, no problems at all. And Magnus plays knight c3. He just develops a piece. Bishop g7 is played. And the threat is queen takes d4. That's a real threat. And how does Magnus respond? Well, Magnus responds knight to f3. Don't forget, this is a 3-minute game in late title Tuesday. 3 minutes with 2-second increments. As you can see, both players have used roughly the same time. The clock is on the side of the board there. 2 minutes and 38 seconds left for Vladimir Fedosiv, and 2 minutes and 43 seconds left for Magnus Carlsen, our world chess champion. Knight f6 is played. Get your knights on f6 and castle as early as practicable against the world champion, because you don't want to be checkmated. It'd be very embarrassing. White castles, black castles. a3 is played. That's just to if Magnus wants to play e4, he might not like that knight going to b4, right? If he plays e4, he might not like this knight here going from b4 to d3. It might be very annoying. So he played a3 first, and now black plays knight to d5. And the whole idea is he's got ideas or intentions of possibly even capturing the knight and even holding the pawn if he can, or just playing b5. Just playing b5 and protecting his pawn. Magnus plays e4, he goes straight for the centre. He just wants a good central position. Knight takes knight, pawn takes knight. And now white's just got the good centre. The world champion's got the good centre, and now black has got the extra pawn. Black's got 8 pawns and white's got 7. E5 is played. This is a very interesting move. I personally don't like it. he wants to challenge the centre because he doesn't know what to do and he doesn't want to use up all his time. Magnus has not used much time at all, but there's a 30-second difference. And the problem with this move, which attacks the centre, is that if the white knight captures the pawn and the bishop takes, well, you're going to lose this dark squared bishop, which is very important for king protection. So, and Magnus clearly sees it as I do, that knight takes pawn is good. Bishop takes knight, pawn takes, queen, rook takes, and now we have an interesting position, which I believe favours white. Knight c5, f4 is played, and now you can see that white's got a 5-3 majority on the king side, and I think this is where Magnus is thinking that he will win the game, the 5-3 majority on the king side. G4, again, not really the right way to play the position, I don't think, because white's got 5 pawns to 3 on the king side, and if those pawns mobilise, then you're basically dead. You're dead. F4, which is the best way to play it, I would imagine. And now white's threatening H5, right? He's threatening H4, and then if the pawn takes the pawn, the bishop will take the pawn, and white will be all over the black position. H6 is played, and now rook attacks pawn. That's right, he's been able to mobilise his rook straight away, and he's threatening rook takes H6. The king moves up, and now I imagine it's H4, looks deadly. No, he played bishop hits knight first. Okay, so I don't know why he did that, but he decided that he would hit that knight first. One of the reasons is if the knight goes back here and takes the pawn, he'll be able to pin the knight against the king, possibly. Knight to d6. Now bishop hits knight. White wants to maintain those central pawns. Right, black can take the pawn, but after bishop d4, I'd say he's finished. Knight takes pawn, here it comes. Bishop d4, f6 looks forced. f6, yeah. And now bishop takes knight and bishop takes pawn. Yep, bishop takes knight, pawn takes. Now have a look at those 4 pawns. They're all supported and they're beautiful pawns, lovely pawn arch. And now rook checks, he gives him a check and he forces him into the corner there. And now rook to d1. He doesn't even bother taking the pawn. Magnus immediately sees that the rook to d6. The 2 rooks would career along the 6th rank and pick up that pawn on h6 with a big check. Black thinks he's got no choice because he's got to hold his pawn, and now in come the 2 castles, as we said. Rook to f7 was played, rook takes pawn check, king to h8. Now he starts pushing the pawn, he's motorising all his pawns now, and it's basically all over, the game's all over. Pawn takes pawn, here he comes. He's pushing the pawn for a queen. Now he's decided I can't just sit there while Magnus's pawns just keep coming at my king and choking me to death. So he gives back the piece, and after pawn takes bishop, rook takes, a simple rook check, king there, and bishop hits castle. Remember, white has got an extra piece. Rook to f6, f3. And then he's threatening the bishop, black's threatening the bishop, and he's also threatening this pawn here. Right, so it's getting critical time though, because Vladimir Fedoshev has only got 17 seconds, and Magnus has got 2 minutes left on the clock. Right, bishop checks, and now king to e7, and now this black king looks like it's in awful trouble. Rook checks. It looks like there's a checkmate coming. He moved backwards. Well, that's just asking for it, isn't it? After rook checks, that's the end of the game. And he resigned because the only move is rook here. Right, rook to f8. And after bishop checks, king must go here. And rook takes rook check. The king must go here. And rook takes rook. And there are no more pieces. No more black pieces on the board. So it was a very efficient win for the world champion Magnus Carlsen, who won late titled Tuesday. Right, so he actually won the tournament. At one stage he lost a point, and I thought, oh, Magnus is not going to win this. But Magnus came good and won virtually every game right near the end of the tournament to just take the tournament by a half a point. And he took the tournament by half a point from our friend, yours and mine, from Eric Hansen. Eric Hansen tied equal second. He came third officially on countback, but his score was that of an equal second place. And with that, I'm going to look at Grandmaster Eric Hansen's little masterpiece. Right, so we're going to look at Eric Hansen's little masterpiece. Where did it go? I did see it there a second ago. Eric Hansen, where are you? Eric Hansen, here's his game here. Right, so we're looking at Eric Hansen versus Jan Christoph Duda, the Super Grandmaster who played in the Candidates Tournament for the World Chess Championship. So he's pretty handy chess player with a rating of 2,731. Grandmaster Eric Hansen is 2,613 for the purposes of this tournament. Okay, Eric opened up with e4. e5 was played by Duda. Knight f3 attacking the pawn. Knight c6 defending the pawn. Bishop b5. Right, so we've got a Ruy Lopez opening, named after Ruy Lopez, of course. a6. And now we can go into the exchange variation of the Ruy Lopez. Bishop takes knight, or retreat your bishop to a4. As per most Super Grandmasters, he plays bishop to a4. And knight f6 was played, and white castles. This is the most testing line for black, right? Bishop e7, probably hoping to get a martial attack. Rook e1, b5, bishop b3. I play this myself, this position. And I've had this position hundreds, maybe even 1,000 times. Castles. Now, what he's after is he wants white to play c3. But will Eric deny him? Now he plays h3. Now this is one of the anti-martial moves, right? It's the anti-martial, right? h3 and a4 are both anti-martial moves. Bishop b7 was played, d3 was played, and now d5. So he's virtually playing the martial anyway. Pawn is sacrificing a pawn for active play. Pawn takes, knight takes. a4 was played. Straight away, Eric attacks the queenside pawn structure, and Eric's just playing quick chess, solid chess, to keep his opponent on his toes and not give him a chance to play any prepared variation or anything like that. Rook to b8 was played. Pawn takes pawn, pawn takes. I'd say they're still in preparation at this stage of the game. Knight c3. I don't know whether that's quite accurate, but it looks like a good move. Threatens knight takes knight, and black has to think on his toes. He's got to think on his toes. He's got to work out what he's going to do with that knight on d5. He takes the knight off, pawn takes back, and now white's left with an attack on the e-pawn. He's still threatening knight takes pawn because it's protected by the castle. Okay. Black plays king to h8. I think he was a bit concerned. If he played queen d3, knight to g5 might be played. But perhaps perhaps queen d6 was a better move. Or maybe he's concerned about bishop h3, but he shouldn't be. So in this position here, after pawn takes knight, I like queen to d6. I don't think you can rush it. I like queen d6. Even bishop f6 looks okay. I can't see where black's in any trouble. But when he plays king here, obviously he's going to lose a pawn. Knight takes, and rook takes. Now white's got 6 pawns. Black's only got 5. Okay, so here we're going to get some complications now. c5 was played. Black's idea is very, very simple. It's a good idea. He wants to play pawn here to c4 and block off that bishop, right? I don't know that it's that effective because the king has already moved to h8 and, well, this pawn can move forwards if it wants to. Bishop to f4. So Eric, our young champion, Eric likes to develop all his pieces. So he plays bishop f4, and behind his rook move, he might be threatening rook takes bishop and try to exchange the material off and grab a quick rook. Anyway, bishop to d6 is played by Jan-Christoph Duda, and now queen to g4. This is a really interesting move. And it's a trick move. It's a testing move. The whole idea is if you take the castle, the bishop can recapture and it'll be threatening checkmate and the rook at the same time. So what does black do in this position? Well, he decides, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to hit your bishop and try to block it up a bit. Pawn takes pawn, pawn takes, and bishop takes. So, okay, so you've managed to double the pawns, but it is an extra pawn. So even in this position, if you were able to win the exchange, which you can't, but even if you were able to win the exchange, there's a problem. There's a problem. Look at this move here. The whole idea was queen here, with the express purpose of playing queen takes queen, and bishop takes rook wins the exchange. So how now, brown cow? I mean, really, how do you hold the position? Well, Eric found this move, rook f5. It's lovely. It's a lovely move. Rook f5. And you can see the bar on the side of the board. The bar on the side of the board says Eric's winning. And with that, Duda captures the bishop and the queen recaptures, straightens the position up. And now the white bishop on c4 is defended. Now have a look at the position, and overall there is no attack by white of any real great significance, or by black, I should say, of any great significance, yet white has got central pieces. He's got all his pieces connected. He's attacking the f7 pawn. And he's got 2 extra pawns, even though they are doubled. But they are outside pass pawns. f6 was played, and now bishop d3. Eric's looking at the move, rook to h5, and affecting a checkmate of some sort. Queen takes pawn. Straight away, Duda says, I've got to get in there, I've got to grab some pawns back, I've got to get some compensation. So he takes the pawn off and threatens take the castle to check. The castle moves to rook to d1. This is an interesting move. You'd think that the rook would go somewhere else, but it looks nice and safe on d1. And that's all you really need to do. When you've got 39 seconds on your clock, as Eric has, and your opponent's got 52 seconds, as has Duda, it's logical to move quickly. g6 was played, and now rook hits bishop. You can't move that black bishop, because if you move the black bishop, it'll be rook takes rook or win. So he plays queen c6. He's thinking, oh, can I trick him? Can I trick him? because I'm threatening to take his pawn with checkmate. Can you see the checkmate here? The two pieces are lined up threatening checkmate. So he's threatening checkmate. So Eric's got to stop the checkmate. So he slipped his queen back to protect the G2 square. Now rook to D8. Black's trying to put his rooks on effective squares. He really wants to play queen takes rook in this position. Rook to B1 was played. Now he wants to attack the bishop. Bishop moves back, and now rook hits queen. And there's not enough time for black to do anything here, unfortunately. And if the queen moves, the F6 pawn's a bit loose too. Queen C3 was played. That's the best move. Rook hits bishop. Now, at this stage, Eric, who is like a combinative genius, right, is trying to set his opponent up for a little trap. A little trap. Can you see the trap that Eric's preparing? Can you see that? I'll give you a few seconds. Can you see the trap that Eric Hansen is preparing? Anyway, he moved there. Bishop to D5. He centralised his bishop. And with that, Eric just grabs the 7th rank. He might think, oh, but the rook's not threatening any pawns along there or anything. Everything seems to be okay. And it's with that black just moved queen there to D5, threatening the castle. He thought, that's a good move. But what he's overlooked is if he'd done all these chess puzzles correctly at chess.com, he wouldn't have missed this lightning bolt move by Grandmaster Eric Hansen. And here it comes. Are you ready? Can you see it? Examine all checks. Examine all captures. Can you see the lightning bolt move? Boom! Rook takes pawn check and resigns. Black resigns. For if king takes rook, simply queen takes pawn check, king here, and checkmate. So that was Eric Hansen's wonderful win. And Eric went on to score a marvellous score in Title Tuesday and get a really good position by coming equal second and third on tiebreak. Okay, so yeah, in the event of a tie, the players are relegated to placings based, if a tied score, they're relegated to placings based on their count back, the sum strength of their opponent's ratings or whatever. Okay, so we're just going to go back to the late Title Tuesday, and we're going to have a look at the Fidemaster. Now, the Fidemaster, he played in round one. Fmcurtis, who did he play? Right. Oh, well, I'll just go back to my own archive and I'll show you my game. I'll show you my own game. In game one, I lost my first game. I should have won it. I was playing really well. And my first game was against this mighty player, Aemulus from the United States. Okay, so here we go. Playing Aemulus. Whoop, bingo. Aemulus, I'll make sure you can see the board clearly. There we go. Right, and he beat me. So even though I lost the game, I want to show you my round one game against Aemulus. He's 2,561. I played E4, played C5, knight F3, D6, D4. Okay. Takes the pawn, knight takes pawn, and now knight F6. So I played knight C3. This is the Sicilian. We're playing Sicilian open variation, A6. I played bishop G5, as did Tal. Tal used to like to play this. Tal used to like all the complications, the attacking combinations. Queen to F3. Now this is an old move. The old masters used to play years ago, and I thought I might just be able to confuse my opponent by playing an older system where he might not be totally familiar with all the latest theory. And then he's got to work it all out across the board. He played knight b5 to d7, and so I just castled, right? In this position here, Tull used to always play pawn to f4 first before playing queen to f3. Anyway, knight there, castles, queen to c7, and now I played g4. And I thought, oh, this is not a bad idea. I'll just take his knight off and push a pawn. And I encouraged him to play queen here, and he didn't like the idea. He liked. I knew I had to sacrifice a pawn, and he probably should. He didn't quite like this idea because he gets his pieces congested, and he's not getting an attack quick enough. So he can win a pawn, but after queen g3, it's all very, very unclear, the position. So anyway, so I'll show you what he played. He played b5. He thought, no, I'm just going to go for bishop b7 and go for the standard line. So I took his knight off. Knight takes knight. I hit his knight with a pawn. And now, in this position, he did have the option of pawn hits my knight, but he never went for that one. He had that option. Anyway, he moved his knight back, and then I played a3 to stop him hitting my knight. Okay, so he played bishop to b7. He wants to put pressure along this long diagonal to my castle and my queen. I played h4. I wasn't worried about what he did. He played bishop e7. He develops a piece. It's not easy for black to play this position. Possibly knight to b6 and knight c4 might be one way to play it. Or rook c8 first, and then knight to b6 and knight c4. And let's see what took place. I played bishop h3 after bishop e7, and now he might be concerned about bishop takes e-pawn. You see, the pawn takes back. I could take with the knight. I get 3 pawns for a queen, which would be really good. But he played knight hits queen. He stopped me doing that idea. So I played queen to g3. At this stage, I was very happy with my position. And he castled. I played f4, and then he played knight c4. Now, he's not threatening anything at the moment, but I do have to be careful of him playing knight to a6 at some stage and then capturing the knight. But at the moment, my queen is protecting the knight, and so I've only really got to worry about it all when he gets rook c8 in, right? So I decided, I know what I'll do. I'll push a pawn towards his king, right? And now, this is all about timing. I'm threatening to attack him, and he needs to attack me and get his attack in first before I get my attack. He took the pawn off, and now he knows that if I take the pawn here, he could take the castle, right? I wasn't very happy about that. I really wasn't. So I thought, oh, what do I do here? And I thought, oh, maybe I could take with the knight. It's certainly an option for me. But I actually took with the pawn, I believe. So here we go. I took with the knight. There you go. Rook to e8. Oh, that's when I pushed the h pawn. I decided I really would like to play g6, right? And test him, test my opponent. He moved the bishop back, and so I played rook here, and I protected this pawn which he was attacking. He was attacking that pawn a couple of times. So he played queen c5. Now what he's trying to do here is he wants to look at knight takes pawn. He also wants to look at queen here, which would try to change the queens, right? So I thought, well, all right, well, I'll play g6. I just pushed my pawn towards his king and tried to open him up a little bit. He took the pawn, I took back. And then he played h6, and I thought, well, I'm happy about that. What can you do here? I played knight to d4. I don't know whether that's exactly the best move, but it worried him a bit because he wanted to change queens. So I took the queen off, and after he took back with the pawn, I played knight to f4. Now you can see in this position, my knight is beautifully placed with the pawns, and I've got this control of the d5 square. So in this position, white is better. You say, well, how did you lose this, John? How did you lose this game? Well, unfortunately, this guy is 2,561, and even I can play bad games. But I thought that I was going to kill him, I'll be honest. Knight to d5 I played, and I thought, oh, he's dead here. I'm going to beat him up. He took the knight, and I recaptured with the pawn. And then he pushed the pawn. He straight away wants to go for activity. So I was happy to play bishop hits knight at this stage. I want to just take his knight off, right? And he moved his knight back, and I thought, great. So I took his knight off, and he took with the rook, with the bishop. I think he should take with the castle. He should take with the castle. He took with the bishop. And now I played bishop here, and this is where his worries started, right? I've got 59 seconds. He's only got 9.6 seconds. So I'm way ahead on time and position. I check him, and now he's got one castle out of play completely. He's got a castle out of play completely. He moved his king, and with that, I just played bishop there. Yeah, and that was probably a mistake. The bishop's doing a good job there. In that position, I can just play rook to e2. Yeah, rook to e2. Rook to e2 is nice. Rook to e2. Or even c3. But what did I play? I played bishop there, that's right. He played pawn forwards. I played rook to e2. I think that's a necessary move. He played rook there. I thought pawn here might have been better to play pawn here. But he played rook here. He's not threatening anything. He wants me to take the pawns, just a little trap, a kiddie's trap. He wants me to take the pawn so he can pin my rook against my king. And then he just wins. So I played c3, which is the better move. My idea is just to play king c2, then take the pawn, right? He played rook, protects the pawn, so I played king c2. And now, if I get my king on d3, well, there's no way he can win, right? And he played pawn there, and I thought, I've got a check. If I can get a rook here, that's a checkmate, right? So I made this move. King here. I thought I'll put my king in a safe spot first. Then he played rook there. And you know what I did? I challenged the rook. I had the earlier move in my head. I blundered a castle. And naturally, he took it off. And I had all the time in the world to just beat him slowly from a one position. And unfortunately, well, at least a draw. I cannot lose this position. With best play, it's probably a win for white with best play. But you don't play rook hits rook. So that was my first game, round one, entitled Tuesday, right? So we'll go and have a look at another one. Perhaps I can do better in one of the other games I'm about to show you. So let's go and have a look at what I did after round one. Okay, after round one. Then I went to play this guy here. Chadbiry. Not Cadbury, it's chocolate. Chadbiry. And here we go. His national master, Chadbiry, from the United States, 2,426. Okay. And I'll speed this up a little bit. d4, knight f6, c3, e6, knight f3, d5, bishop f4. And now this is this bishop f4 line. It's very difficult to answer, but I was just happy to change bishops if I could. He played e3, and I played c5. And the whole idea is I don't want him to have that strong bishop on f4, and I want him to look at my bishop and say, well, what are you going to do about that, baby, right? He played bishop d3, so I played knight c6. He played knight d7, and then I played queen c2, queen c7. Not a great move. A better move would have been to play queen e7. Queen e7. This is not a great move. queen e7 might be able to threaten me, so I can play e5. If I can play queen here, I might be able to play queen e5. So I'm not too sure. That did not look good. He took the pawn off, and I think he made the correct decision. I took his bishop, pawn takes, queen takes. Okay. Right, so at this stage we both got about the same time on the clock. He castled, I castled. He played rook e1. Now he's just trying to control this square. And I've got to be careful that he doesn't trap my queen. He almost traps my queen. I've got to be a bit careful here. So I played a5. The whole idea of this move is I didn't want him to link up his pawns and roll on me with the pawns. Rolling me down here on the queen side because he's already got control of the centre. He played knight d2. I played h6. I didn't like knight to g4. He played a3 and then I played a5. a4. And then the whole idea of a4 is I'm just going to tie up his pawn structure a little bit. And I might be able to play knight here and knight takes pawn too. So that was another idea I had. He played g3, I went back to c7, he played pawn forwards, and I pushed my pawn. I thought, well, I'll just try to hold everything. I am way behind in development, but if I can get e4 in, e5 in, I might be all right, sort of. He played rook to d1. I played queen there. I don't know. My plan was to play e5. But I played queen there because I just want to recapture the pawn. Probably not the right idea at all. He played knight e4, and I moved my knight back. If I take the knight, he just gets a great game. So I moved my knight back to d7. He moved forwards, and then I took his pawn with the queen. Now I'm threatening his knight, and his knight went to b4. Now he's got me sort of trapped a little bit here. I have to be very, very careful. I played e5, threw caution to the wind. He played bishop there, bishop hits. And then I played knight f6. Bishop takes knight, queen takes, and he played knight takes pawn. Well, at this stage, he's got his pawn back and he's winning, right? So I played queen c4. I was hoping he would play knight to d3. I was hoping he'd play knight back here and attack my queen so I could transfer it over to the king side and start getting an attack on the king side with my knight and queen. All right. I've got 33 seconds left. He's got 27 seconds. He took the pawn off. I don't think that was a great move. I just played bishop there, bishop e6, right? So just it's just a general move, bishop e6. Because I had to move fast. Then I transferred my queen over to the king side. And he could probably hit me with the castle, but he didn't. He hit me with the knight. And so I played queen f5, just trying to be tricky. And he took the queen and I took back. So I was actually threatening to take his queen for nothing, right? He played knight to d6. He's attacking my bishop, so I just slipped it forwards there just to try to be a pain. But I can see that at this stage that he's winning with knight takes b7, right? He played rook there. He should have taken this pawn off because I pushed it. And now it's a real pain for him, right? Because how do you get rid of that pawn? If he could have taken the pawn just a little bit quicker, he would have been able to push his c-pawn through. So he played king to g2. He wants to kick my bishop with h3 and take my bishop off with one of his knights. You know, I played rook, pins the knight, and he hit me. So I moved back all the way, and now he played knight there. Well, I just attacked his knight. Oh, I'm just trying to threaten to take his knight and to disembowel his pawns if I can somehow. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm running short of time. We've got 18 seconds left. He's got 9.9. I recaptured the rook. He played rook to e2, safe move, right, to protect his pawn structure. So I took his knight. I thought, I'm not playing safe here. He took with the pawn, and I probably should play knight hits knight. But I played g5. I thought I'll just chase that knight, see where it goes. And he played knight there. Oh, by the way, when I played knight there, his knight's trapped. Can you see that the knight's trapped? So in this position here, you look at the position and say, well, what move is a good move? You see, oh, where does his knight go? We hit it with a pawn. And that's what I did. So I saw that straight away. And then he moved his knight forward. Well, I took his knight off. He captured with the rook. Now I've got a problem. Even though I've got extra material, right, with the knight, he's starting to get too many pawns on the queen side. I can't allow him to start taking too many pawns too quickly because I'll start losing. So I played my knight forwards to protect the pawn, and he pinched a pawn. So I played king g7 to try to hold my pawn, and he played rook over. And now I'm thinking, well, how do I proceed to make progress from this stupid position? So I just played rook d7 because I didn't know what to do. He played pawn forwards. I should take that silly thing off. I pushed it, wrong move. He played pawn there, so I thought, well, I'll take that. And now I play knight f6. At least I've got a check on d3. I'm thinking, just at least I've got a check on d3. I can always go in here and try to pinch that one. Right? So anyway, he played g4, and I gave him a check. He went there. I went here, threatening a pawn with check. He pushed the pawn on my knight. I moved my knight forwards. He moved his king over. I played the wrong move here. I should take his pawns with check. Take his pawn with check and then take his other pawn. Right? Well, I played knight there. I was a bit concerned he would play h4. He played king hits rook. Now I played rook takes pawn. Right? He checked me. I moved forwards. He checked. I went back. Went there. I moved forwards. There. I moved up. He went there. And I went here. I thought, oh, got to get my rook working because otherwise I'll get a coin. He started pushing a pawn. In this position, he's threatening rook takes knight check, right? He's threatening rook oh no, not threatening rook takes knight check, but almost. Yeah, he's threatening to push the pawn. You know, I played knight here to stop him pushing the pawn. And he played rook there. So I took a pawn off, and then he went there. And I thought, oh, this doesn't look good. So I'll give him a check just to see where he goes. And he went there, and then I went over here and attacked the pawn. He played rook takes pawn. I played knight there. He played king there. I took the pawn. He pushed the pawn. We've only got seconds on the clock. He attacked my rook. I thought, you beauty, I'll take it. He played king there. I gave him a check. He went there. I took another pawn with check. I moved king here. I just want to get my king in here. And then that's the end of the game. Because he can't push his pawn because I'll just take it off with the castle, right? And I won that game against National Master Chadbiry, 2,426, and that was round 2. So I'm just going to show you now round 3. And in round 3, I played a player 2,539. So he's over 400 rating points higher than me for the purposes of the tournament. His name was Fidemaster xberli. xberli. Here he is here in this game. Fidemaster xberli. And I'll play through the game quickly. The game was played about 90% accuracy. d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3. Bishop b4, a6. I took the knight. He took back with a pawn. I played d6. I should probably play c5. He played f3, so he just wants to get the centre. I played queen e7. It's a bit of a passive move. He played e4. I played e5. He played bishop there, so I played h6. I didn't like the idea of his bishop going there. That's not really a real worry. Knight e2, g5 I played. I didn't want him playing f4, so I tried to prevent him playing f4. But I've got no development, so I thought I'd better get a piece out, so I put my knight on c6. At this stage, I think I've got a very bad game. I'm not very happy with it at all. He played bishop there, and I thought, gee, he's got some good position after pawn here too. So I'm a bit worried about this position. Bishop d7, I thought, I'll just get my pieces out and see what happens. And he played queen to d2. He's just improving his game. So I played b6. He played king h1. And I just put my knight there. And the whole idea is just to threaten knight to b3. And he played rook there to stop it, which is a good idea. And with that, I played c5. I wanted to block up the position as much as possible. He played rook e1, so I played rook to g1. I thought, if you're going to play waiting moves, I'll play them too. And he played knight g3. This is the move I was worried about, folks. I thought, oh, he could play knight f4. It's ugly, ugly, ugly. I castled queenside just in case. He played queen f2. He wasn't convinced. He wants to sacrifice here. Pawn takes pawn. He's looking at that move. So I thought, well, I better attack him. So I just moved my bishop up, threatening bishop takes pawn, and giving my queen access to the defence. And he played knight to f4. So I just took it off and played queen to c7. Okay, so I'm holding the whole position on black squares. Nearly every one of my pieces, bar these two characters here and the king, is on a black square. So out of 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pieces, I've got 13 on black squares. So obviously I'm playing the black squares. Anyway, I'm trying to nullify all the black squares because I want to nullify his bishop. He's got 2 bishops. So a closed position is good for the knights. It's 2 knights versus 2 bishops. He played rook b5. Now, this is a very dangerous move because he's threatening pawn takes pawn. He's actually threatening pawn takes pawn, and if I take with the pawn, he can play maybe bishop takes pawn once he moves that bishop away, and he's got some sort of attack, right? Anyway, he can't do it while his bishop's on d3, so I played knight back, and he moved his bishop he improved his bishop to there. So I took that off and I thought, well, I'm going to find something new to attack because I've got my position is too defensive. This guy's 2,539 rated, and I thought, I've got to attack him. He's short of time. Pawn takes pawn, and then I played f6. Probably not the best move, right? Pawn takes pawn might have been a bit better. Anyway, but he played a4, a5, and he wants to obviously try to get a wedge in with a4 if you can. It's a5 if you can. So I took the pawn there. I didn't know what else to do. I thought I've got to attack him in the middle. He recaptured in the centre, and I played rook hits e pawn. That's right. Whereas he's attacking on my c5 square, I thought, well, I'll counter-attack on your pawn, sir, on e4. He played queen to f3, so I played queen to e7. Now I'm threatening his pawn. He pushed the pawn. He wants to try to open up my king. So what I did was I pushed the pawn on his queen to confuse him a little bit. He gave me a check and I put my queen in. He changed queens, king takes, and he played pawn to e6. I played rook over there for some reason. I don't know why. I got to move fast. I got 49 seconds. He played bishop there. This is a real worry. So I took the pawn off. I thought, well, at least this way I don't have to worry about him taking. And I've still got plenty of control over the c5 square with all these piece moves and pawns, right? He played rook to d4, d5. I played king to c6. I'm in a little bit of trouble here, but his rook's misplaced too. He played rook there. He doesn't bother taking the pawn anymore straight away, which is a good thing probably. So I played rook here because I need to get my rook underneath that passed pawn. I can't get it behind it. I played rook here, and then I thought, well, at least I've blocked the pawn, and I can move my pieces around. He played bishop back, and I played knight to c5. Here, I'm threatening the a pawn. He played rook d1. I took the pawn off. He took with check. I take. He takes, and I move forwards. At this stage, I believe it's just a win for white. He played rook hits rook. I moved my rook back. He gave me a check. I moved forwards. He took a pawn off. I played king there. He pushed a pawn. I took a pawn. He played bishop there. I moved my king back, attacked his bishop. He played bishop b4, and now I blocked him off. So now I'm threatening rook takes pawn, right? And he looks at the position. He thinks, oh no, he's going to take my pawn. Somewhere I've gone wrong. So here we are. We've outplayed him. We've outplayed Fidemaster xberli. 2,539. We've outplayed him completely. He played bishop takes knight. I took with the pawn. Now, in this position, I believe black's probably winning, right? It's very close. He played rook hits pawn. I played king protects the pawn. And I think that's the winning move. And with that move, he played rook there. Now, I should play rook takes pawn. And I did. Now I'm threatening checkmate down the back rank. So what does he do about that, right? So I moved my king. Oh, he checked me. I moved my king up. I want to play king to d4 wins. Okay, so he played king there. Now, I believe here I have the winning move. I believe the winning move is probably rook here. Rook to e6 should win. Right, rook to e6 should be the winning move. I played pawn there. Right, I played pawn there to push the pawns. You can't push pawns in positions like this. He played pawn there. I played pawn there. That's a Dumbo move. I should just go for the passed pawn, shouldn't I, folks? I should play king here and take that passed pawn somehow and get a passed pawn running so I can get a quick queen. You know, I played passively. I played pawn there. It is good from the point of view it keeps his king cut off. He moved his king up there, so I gave him a check with the pawn, gave him another check, and he went there, and I played pawn there. I thought, well, this is going to be a winning game. And I thought, what's he going to do about this? He took it. I took back towards the center. I thought, all my pawns are protected. How are you going to win this? He played rook there, and so I played king up. And now I'm threatening to give him a check here, which is a knockout blow. And I'm also threatening king here to go to the f2 square. So I'm threatening to penetrate. He gave me a check, and I have to come back, right? And then he moved rook hits pawn. He's threatening my pawn with check. Now I've got one move in this position to win. So I thought, well, I'll play rook here. I gave him the pawn with check. Then I played king here. And I thought, well, that's a draw. Because at worst, I can just take his pawn off on g2 and he can't save it, right? So anyway, it was in this position. He played rook to c8. Rook to c8. I played rook hits pawn. Now I'm threatening to get, if I get the two passed pawns, right, I can actually sacrifice my castle for that c pawn. And my two pawns are going to be that close to a queen that I shouldn't lose, right? Or I might win. So he checked me, and I went back, and he pushed the pawn. So I took his pawn off. Now he pushes the pawn. So I go here, rook here, right? Now the whole idea is I'm threatening a check. I'm threatening a big check here to kick him in the backside so I can stop his queen. And then he's got to worry about my two passed pawns, right? Anyway, what he did was he moved his king out of the way, so I gave him another check. He moved his king up, and I went to the back rank, and now he moved his king back, and I gave him another check. And he moved up, and I went back again, and back, and that was a draw. So that's it. So it was just a matter of a standoff, because whoever makes the wrong move might lose the game, right? So that was my game against Chadbiry. I'm going to show you one more game. It's from my round 8 of Late Title Tuesday. Right, round 8 of Late Title Tuesday. Here we go. And it's against International Master Leonid Nosraka. Right, Nosraka. So it's from round 8. Nozdrechev, right? Sorry, Leonid Nozdrechev. Right. Now, Leonid Nozdrechev is 2,529 rated. Right, 2,529 rated. And for this purposes of this last game, I'll put the engine on there so you can see what sort of wizardry took place in this magnificent game. So it's late title Blitz October, and we're playing Leonid Nozdrechev, 2,529 from the United States. Anyway, he played knight f3, I played d5, he played g3, I played c6. Right. For the purposes of the game review, just to let you know, I played at 88% accuracy and he played at 88% accuracy, right? So we both played at 88% accuracy. He played at 88.3, okay, 0.3 better than me, right here. But the position was a draw at the end of the game. He played knight f3, book move, I played d5, he played g3, I played c6, right? Okay. He played d3, it's a fair move, and bishop f5 was played. It's good to get your bishop off the starting square and into the action, as they say. Bishop g2, star move, best move by white. Leonid Nozdrechev is an international master. That's the title just under Grandmaster. It's a very strong player. 2,529. He castled. Star move, best move. I played knight f6. It's a book move, so I'm in theory. I'm still in the mainline theory. He played c4. It's theory. Book move e6. He captured the pawn. Star move, best move. I recaptured with the e pawn. The best move and the best way to recapture, and he played e5. I thought this is a mistake, and it is an inaccuracy. So I took the pawn off, and he took with the pawn, and then I thought, well, I should take his queen off, which is what I did. It's important to get your pieces off the starting squares and into the action, so that's good. He took with the rook, and I took with the pawn, and he played knight c3, to which I played bishop takes knight, exclamation mark, right? So I got the exclamation mark for that from the chess engine. So I'm playing a guy 2,529 and the chess engine gives me an exclamation mark, not bad, eh? He took with the bishop and then I played knight there. Okay, so my idea now is to just develop my pieces. He gave me a check. I played king. Oh, I should play king to... I could probably play king to d8. I think this is the best move. King d8's better. Star move. Yeah, I missed it. Okay. I was a bit worried about bishop f4, but I forgot that I could play g5. Right. Anyway, I played bishop e7. He played bishop there. Question mark move. So I played king here. Should play knight c5. And then he played rook to d8. So I thought, well, okay, I'll play rook e8. I should attack his bishop with g5, right? And I didn't. He played a3. So then I played g5, and I got a star move, best move from the engine. Engine like that one. Then I played bishop to c5, and the chess engine gave me another exclamation mark. So here I am. I'm playing somebody over 2,500, and I've got 2 exclamation mark moves against him, so I should be doing well. He should take the bishop, but he played knight there. And now, what do I do in this position? Well, should I play bishop takes bishop, star move, best move, rook takes, knight to d5. I should play rook e6, so I did not play the best move. He played rook there, and now I've got a few problems now with the squares, so I should play knight to e5. Right, that's correct. You can see where the arrow, the engine knows I should play knight e5. I can see it now when I'm not under pressure. He played knight d6. I played rook e7. And he took the knight and he got the exclamation mark. So I recaptured with the pawn and I got a star move for the best move. Right? He played knight there. It was the wrong move. He was winning at that stage, I think. Let's have a look. If he played knight here, I think he's got an edge. He's got the edge. The engine's saying it's better for white. Okay, but small edge, but that's all they need at that level to outplay you. I played rook hits knight. I want to take his knight off. He should play knight d4. He played g4. I played h5. He pushed the pawn. I played rook there. That's a bad move. He should play knight to g3, and he never played it. He missed it for some reason. He played. See, the engine saying knight g3 was a killer. Anyway, so now position's pretty equal. So I played rook c4. He played rook takes knight, and then he thought he was doing funny business here. But after pawn takes rook, everything is unclear. He took the pawn, and now he's threatening checkmate, right? So what do? I gave him a check first. Not the best move. I should play king to g8. So it's a very hard move to find in this position. But king g8 should hold. King g8. Black might even be winning. But I gave him a check. Never miss a check because I didn't want my rook forked. He played king there, and then I played king here. I should again play rook checks. He took the pawn off. Now then I realised I can't take the rotten pawn. If I take the pawn off, he knight checks me and wins my rook. So I gave him a check over there. Not the best move. I should play rook hits rook. He played king there. Then I should play rook hits rook. I didn't. I took a pawn off. Then he pushed the pawn, so I played rook here. And when he played king there, then I found this move rook there, but it's not good now. It was good before, but not good now. Anyway, he moved the rook back to d4. It's a star move, best move. And then I took his knight, and that's the best move in the position. Star move, and it might be enough to draw. He takes with the king, and I played rook takes pawn. Exclamation mark! So here I am again. I've got three, not one, not two, but three exclamation mark moves against the player 2529, strong international master. He gave me a check. I moved it to f8. I should go to d2 to try to protect my pawns over there. But however, he played king here. It was in this position that I gave him a check. That's right. Now, if he takes the pawn, I take his pawn. You see, he took the pawn and I took his pawn. Now he's got a problem. What does he do? I'm on his pawn. If he pushes it, I might take the A pawn. He moved his king back. So what do? I gave him a check. Star move, best move. He played king there, and I gave him a check. I shouldn't do it. I should go back and hit the pawn again. He played king to d6. He should play king f6, but that was a draw. And then I played star move, rook c5. So there was two good moves there. Rook to a5 is a star move. That's a great move. And the other great move is rook c5. He played rook hits pawn. I played rook hits two pawns. So he's attacking one pawn. I'm attacking two pawns. He took the pawn off. He shouldn't do that because I'll take this one. And now if he takes... Oh, he pushed the pawn there. Well, I could play... Oh, that's right. I played rook here. I missed a win. Oh, so there you go. I missed a win against the international master. Over 2,500. Rook here wins. Pins the rook. And then his game is lost. Isn't that amazing, eh? So I've missed that move. I've missed it. I've missed it. So rook to a3 wins. And this is why you've got to go to your chess.com engine, go to your analysis room, check your games out afterwards, and you'll learn. You'll say, oh, I've got to remember that theme next time. So I plant that idea in my mind. So it's in your subconscious even. And then if you get into a similar position next time, with the pattern recognition features of your brain, you might automatically play the right move next time because of the repetitious nature of the pattern recognition functions in your thingio, in the brain there, right? Anyway, I played rook there, missed it. He played rook takes pawn, and then I played king here. Star move, best move. See, I've cut his king off from the pawn. So he played rook there. Now I can play king here. That means he can't stop king f4. Here I come, king up. I'm on his pawn. So there's no way he can win. I gave him a check. I protected my pawn. He went back. I pushed my pawn. Okay, so he went there. So now I played king here. Star move, best move. I've got his king cut off. He played king here. I should push the pawn at this stage. I should push the pawn forwards. And I did. Star move, best move, exclamation mark. How many exclamation marks have I got from the chess engine in this game? 4. But 1 missed win and 4 exclamation marks. So it's a good game on my part. He played rook here. And now the correct move is rook here, right? I'm pretty sure of it. Yes, you see, I played the wrong move. So rook there, where the arrow says, is the best move. I can see it now, but under pressure, with 15 seconds left on the clock, I didn't see it. And then he played king there, exclamation mark. I played rook here, star move, best move. He played king there, and I played rook hits rook, right? Because it's a draw anyway. And I took the pawn with the king, star move there, star move, star move, star move, star move, star move, there, star move, king here, star move, king there, rook there, star move, check, star move, star move, star move, all best moves, right? And then I played rook there, and then with that I just went rook star move and rook takes rook check, and that was a draw. So there we go. So we had the missed win on 1 or 2 occasions. I had 4 exclamation marks during the game, and for all intents and purposes, that 2,529 player may have lost to me, right? It would have been a nice scalp, but as it was, my final result in Titled Tuesday, late Titled Tuesday, was 5 out of 11. So just a half a point short of 50%. Thank you for sharing your time with Fidemaster John Curtis today. GrandMaster Teddy has been watching in the background, and GrandMaster Teddy would like you to click a thumbs up for the video if you like it, and subscribe if you haven't already, and you'll get notification of more videos to come. Okay, bye for now. It's bye from me. And it's bye from GrandMaster Teddy. See you later, guys.